And is that a barbecue?
It is. I brought my barbecue with me.
Yeah.
Been heating that one up because this dish that I'm going to do, it's a Moroccan spiced lamb with a jewelled couscous.
Yeah.
You could cook it on a char grill pan in your kitchens at home, but also, if the weather's good where you're living, you know, it is bank holiday, so this is a bank holiday weekend dish to me. To kick off, also, it's seasonal. So we've got some lamb, and this is lamb steaks, leg steaks. Fantastic on price, readily available now. This is the time of year to buy because obviously it's spring lamb, and that's what we want. All I'm going to do is grab a touch of oil and put them over the lamb. Not too much.
Yeah.
And we're going to oil the meat, not the barbecue or the pan, or you know, if you're doing it at home kind of thing. Okay. Touch of seasoning, and then a bit of pepper as well. So that was a touch of sea salt and a touch of pepper. That's all. Okay, I've got separate tongs, one for cooked, one for raw. This is my raw ones, obviously, and we're just going to coat both sides of the meat. Just make sure it's just got a very thin covering. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I don't want to swamp it.
Yeah.
I preheated my barbecue, obviously, or if you've got coals, really get that heat up, and then lay it away from yourself, OK? Just so it gives a slight sizzle.
I love that sizzle sound.
And it's away, so then the oil won't splash back, OK? I'll keep the raw tongs to one side there and just leave it now. It's going to take about 3 to 4 minutes to cook through on both sides if you want it pink, that is, OK? Right, there's a glaze that we put on this towards the end. And the glaze is, I love this. You can put this one on vegetables. I know you're vegetarian, so you can try this, give this one a go. Touch of brown sugar, in that goes there. We've got some cinnamon, just a little bit there, OK?
Nice.
The amounts for this, for the recipe I've done, obviously are all on the website.
Yeah.
And then that other wonderful spice we've got, cumin. OK? And you want about 2 times the amount of cumin to the cinnamon.
Okay.
The brown sugar helps give it that wonderful sticky glaze, but to make it even more sticky, runny honey. Could use maple syrup if you wanted to on this one as well, but a good bit of runny honey goes in there, and then we just mix it all together. Now, I could stand here now and say, right, yeah, just put it all over your meat, whatever meat you're cooking, but it would taste raw, and if I did that so early on, it would actually burn.
Okay.
So we put this on at the end, but just quickly, just smell it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Really,
the spice is really cutting through.
It's not too harsh, but what I will do is I'm going to put this in the side. I'm not going to warm it up yet, but I want to cook out the spices so it doesn't taste raw. OK, so later on, while the rest of the show goes on, I'm just going to warm that up and then leave it at the end. Now, on to the vegetarian angle, OK? This is something you'll be interested in.
Or the accompanying salad.
Yeah, or the accompanying salad,
well.
if you're having it together. It eats well separately and it eats well together, this one. We've got couscous, a popular grain, great on price again. It's been covered with cling film, boiling water's been added, it's sat there for 4 minutes until it expands up. Get yourself a fork, and I've just started doing it here, just fluffing everything up together so it comes into lovely little pieces. Yeah. OK, now, next up, I've got some sun-blushed tomatoes, not dried. Sun-blushed are actually a little bit more sweeter, I find, and not as salty and harsh. The wonderful jewelled element, of course,
the
pomegranates. These pop in your mouth, and they're a little bit different as well, I think.
Yeah, and they are gorgeous.
Yeah, well, definitely. It's colours as well.
They're very expensive if you buy just the seeds, so...
Yeah, so by all means, crack it open and just knock them out.
Yeah.
Lemon juice, in that goes as well. You want that acid, and also even a touch, if you really don't mind the lemon, use the oil from it, is a touch of the zest. In that goes there as well. Now, bit of coriander, chopped coriander in this instance. And then also, let's just make sure we season things up. A touch of pepper and just a touch of salt. You don't need too much. Yeah. Mix it all together. Now, to make sure nothing sticks together as such so much, this is where extra virgin olive oil comes into play. The darker one, the peppery one. So that's a little glug there.
Isn't
exactly, but you want the flavour from it. Yeah. And we just give it all a good mix up until everything else is combined. Right, so I'll put that off to one side. We'll come back to that in a bit. Just wash my hand quickly. And we've got another thing here, halloumi cheese.
Oh, I do love a halloumi cheese.
You like a bit of halloumi?
I do, a squeaky old halloumi.
Well, you said it. It's that rubberiness you can get with it sometimes.
And the saltiness, which will go well with the oil and everything.
There we go. Exactly, yeah, definitely. Now, you could even brush this with the glaze if you want to be 100% vegetarian towards the end of cooking. But again, a touch of oil, no seasoning. You said it, salty. Obviously, the separate tongs, not the same ones for the meat. And off to one side, and we're just going to leave them to bar mark through. And the idea is you get, like you said, that kind of rubbery saltiness, but with a charred effect to it as well. If I wanted to, could brush the glaze on there as well.
Oh, nice.
That will take literally a couple of minutes both sides.
Yeah.
So I've got my other separate tongs. Let's have a look at this. And as you can see, that's that classic bar mark effect that we're after.
Yeah.
And again, now I'll turn the barbecue down, or if you're doing it on the top, turn it down ever so slightly, another couple of minutes, take it off and just leave it to rest up. And then we can start to put the whole dish together, brush it with our glaze, turn our cheese, everything's coming together.